Hello, hello, and welcome once again. J76NY here, and we are back with President Rayne after making a series of very important decisions on our constitutional reforms. Reforms that are sure to ruffle some feathers with our own party, and I think that's what we're going to be dealing with going forward, is trying to convince the old guard in our own party to support these reforms. I tried to go kind of a middle of the road type of way when I had the option, just to maybe increase the chance that we could get more support. It's going to take a lot of support in the Assembly to get these constitutional amendments changed. I don't really expect to get the support of the Supreme Court, despite the concessions that I made with their immunity. So, looking at what we have, we've got to read the report from Wholesword on the committee. Vice President Vectorn reported that, along with Lucian Galad, the committee has started working on the written aspect of the package as per the needs outlined previously. They will soon get the legal team involved to complete the writing process. The needed 150 signatures for the proposal has started to be collected within the USP. So we do have some support within our own party. Rayne leading promised reforms. Our sources informed us that the plan is underway by the government to start the drafting of the reform package. Finally, we seem to have a president who pursues something significant in the early days of his term. President Rayne is already proving that he is the right man for the job, as rumors circulate about successful talks about a future proposal in collaboration with important figures from the PFJP. This is a significant development that shows that this administration is listening to the will of the Swordfish citizens. We hope that, once the constitutional changes are approved, it will be the start of a new era for our country towards a bright future. Preparations underway for the annual Benfi Festival. Sounds exciting. It's that time of year again. The largest cultural festival in the entire Swordland, Benfi Festival, has begun its preparation. Benfi Festival is the vibrancy and vitality of Benfi is internationally renowned geographically. City, blah, 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 blah. This year's venue was picked to be the newly built Benfi High Arts Center with a total capacity of 8,000 people. For those who do not have tickets, can as always enjoy the events that span the whole city. Especially after the recent events, we can't wait for 4 days of panels, theater plays, exhibitions, and music. So that's the news of the day. Our highway project is progressing. Anything else we have to do before we jump into this next meeting? Dinner with the business council members. Ooh. Let's hear what they have to say. We were in Lachaven to work with the Business Council to assess weaknesses in the economy. Simon organized a dinner with the affluent economic figureheads of Swordland. When we arrived, the streets were bustling with activity, even though the atmosphere in the country was tense. Lachaveners didn't seem very worried. Together with Walter Tusk, Edith Agnock, Mikhail Avon, and Simon Hall, we entered the renowned Asteria restaurant by the coast. Who are you? Swordfish economist and banker who serves as the chairwoman of the Central Bank of Swordland. Seems fairly important. Mikhail Avon is a Swordfish businessman, economist, and statesman who serves as the co-chair of the National Business Council. And then our old buddy Walter Tusk. Maybe he'll pay me some more because I'm broke. Yes, I did take a bribe from Walter Tusk the last time we met. A short blonde man, whose embroidered pocket read manager, greeted us and waved his arms in excitement as he told us how pleased he was to have us in his establishment. Beaming with pride, he led us to a private room and got us seated at a large table covered for the occasion with a maroon tablecloth. We were quickly served by a group of servers. Walter spoke as they started taking our order. I recommend the Lachaven salmon, President. You have to taste this local delicacy here, the best in Swordland. I don't like fish, dude. I appreciated the advice, but I don't like salmon. I could order the Lachaven salmon. Traditional Sordis bean stew or lesbian pasta. I'm not going to mouth off to him. I'll just order something else. Pasta sounds like a good deal. Ordered lesbian pasta for the main course. The servers took their notes and asked about a second dish. Pasta and salad. Soup and salad. We're at Olive Garden. The best Swordland has to offer. Pasta and salad. The servers placed glasses in front of each of us and served bread and water. After they were done taking orders, they quickly left us alone in the private room. Mr. President, I didn't have the possibility to thank you for coming today. Your presence means a great deal. Indeed, sir, it is an honor to dine with you. Thank you. It's great to be here with members of the Business Council. Likewise. Same to you, brother. We should thank Simon for organizing this meeting. Oh, no need for that. I hope everyone enjoys the evening. Simon gestured at the expensive-looking red wine bottle that one of the servers had just brought to the table. My ears just perked up because I am a fledgling alcoholic. Mr. President, hell yeah. That looks amazing. Well, it tastes even better. Best of Lesbia, the Chateau de Falenco 1934. Simon poured some wine in my glass and waited for me to taste it before filling it up. I took a sip. I guzzled it. Oh, it was bitter. Honestly, it tastes like any other wine. How is it? Is the taste to your liking? It has a sour and delicate Oh my god. Tastes like heaven. It's fine. Tastes like any other wine. I'll just say it's fine. But I'll drink it because booze. This wine doesn't even need testing. Shut up, Walter. Should I fill your glass or would you want another drink, sir? It's okay, I'll drink it. I think I'm good. Yeah, there we go. Don't bother with the glass. Just give me the bottle and a brown paper bag. Simon filled my glass. After filling everyone's glasses, Simon stood up and raised his glass. I'd like to raise a toast to all of you here today. We're meeting here tonight in difficult times, but I believe that with hard work, cooperation, and trust, we will get through this period as well. I'd like to thank Mr. Rayne again for his decisiveness when it comes to economic policy. I'm sure we will stop this recession. I also thank Mr. Tusk for being here today. His presence is an honor. And of course my colleagues from the Business Council, Mrs. Agnock and Mr. Avon. Without you, none of this would have been possible. Let's drink to the future cooperation and growth for a prosperous Swordland. Everyone raised their glasses and toasted each other. After a couple more minutes, the servers arrived with our meals. The food tasted amazing. Walter was right. This place must have been the best place in all of Lachaven. A well-managed Olive Garden goes miles and miles to adding flavor to any presidential meeting. So how did you find the food of the best fine dining restaurant in Lachaven, Mr. President? Not a big fan of fancy food, but I must admit it's very tasty. Fine food is like fine art, but this particular one is a masterpiece. It's okay. This can't get old. It's an experience. The chef must be tipped. Not a big fan of fancy food. I'll take the backyard barbecue with my son any day of the week, but it's pretty good. Says the man visiting one of the finest restaurants in Swordland. Well, I didn't have a choice. We can't exactly meet in the Burger King. Olive Garden, that's a step in the right direction. Don't blame it on him, Mr. President. Didn't choose the place. That's right, Edith. You tell him. How are things going in the Maroon Palace? The pressure must have increased after you attended that funeral. The pressure was already high. Not much has changed. I have to say the future is looking good. It's tough, but our work on the new Constitution continues. Optimism. Project the aura of optimism. That's great to hear. As we conversed with Mikhail, I heard Walter raise his voice in an apparent argument with Edith and Simon. We both stopped to listen. Arcasia knows the right way of doing business. Their approach to the world is real and raw. I prefer the cutthroat approach in comparison to the niceties. Well, I mean, it's a nice country to visit, too. I've traveled there often in business trips. Their attitude on all countries are nice to visit if you have cash. Blah. Stay silent. Money doesn't turn the world around. Travel is the least you can buy with it. Certainly not all. Exactly. How about the people who don't have the cash to spend? Just keep my mouth shut in this one. Certainly depends on what you are looking for. Cultural tourism doesn't require a fancy hotel. Last time I went somewhere for that sort of thing was at university. And even then, we had our wild times thanks to Conrad's connected entourage. Also, Walter is taking us down the rabbit hole again. By the way, I saw that underhaul construction has already started with the highway construction. A little behind the times, man. It's already halfway done. The stream may have dropped. I cannot tell. I've got this circling gizmo here, so we're going to close that out real quick. If you give me a second, I'm going to make sure everything's okay before continuing. Alright, I can't really tell if it's on my end or the stream. But we will continue and hope it works out. It looks like there was a little bit of lag there. It must have been on my end. Alright, I have to congratulate Mr. Rayne for starting such a massive project. Thank you for your support. No need for that, Mr. Raven. The state is just doing its job. I hope the investment returns will be great. We all hope so, Mr. President, but I think it will work out. Okay. Mr. Hall also deserves credit, of course, our great economy minister. Is there a joke coming? Why, I thought you said you were great at economy. He laughed. I've heard that you've bought a new villa, Simon. I don't comment on rumors, but I'll make an exception since we are among friends. It is true. You're doing a great job, so you deserve it. A new villa is a bit much, especially in this economy when people are suffering. Where's the property and why? Where is it? It is a small seaside villa at the outskirts of Conriat. It's just a modest house with a swimming pool and a small golf course in the property. A great city to buy real estate in. Conriat is seeing a surge in investment. So you are becoming a neighbor to Marcel Caranti. Modest. Are you being sarcastic with me? Let's see. Great city to buy real estate with. And Underhall Construction made a fortune constructing houses there. Where there is a demand, there is a supply. The market rules supreme, as always. Edith, who was sitting to my left, gently put her hand over my arm for a few seconds. Come on. Let's not talk about finance or politics for now. We came here to relax. She turned to Walter and Simon. Isn't that right, gentlemen? They nodded at her and took a sip from their drink. She slightly leaned towards me. What are you up to, Edith? So, Mr. Rayne, why don't you tell us what's behind that strong character of yours? I've heard that you have had a difficult life in Dire. Is that right? I tried to leave my past behind and focus on today. It's who we have become that matters. My childhood was very difficult, but it's definitely made me stronger. My family cared for me as much as they could. I couldn't have asked for more. My childhood was very difficult, but it made me stronger. Sometimes it impacts people more negatively. My father used to beat me up good when I crossed the line. Yeah. I never met your family, Mr. President. How are they doing, if you don't mind me asking? I prefer not to talk about family. We don't talk much since I became president. They're doing great. We have no problems. Bold-faced lie. But that's what we're going with. That's great to hear. Your son must be very proud of you. Family is everything. My advice would be to make sure that Frank has a solid relationship with you. He is your future, after all. That's not bad advice, Walter. I'm trying my best to be a good father to him. He seems to be somewhat introverted. He's going through that teenager period. It's difficult to connect with him. He's a little shy. The kid can handle himself. He doesn't need anybody. What do you care about my family, Walter? He's going through the teenager period. It's difficult to connect with him. He does seem a little shy, but whatever. Wish that was my son's biggest problem. Darren seems to be doing fine. I saw that his yacht party in Benfi made local news. Well, the rascal didn't even ask permission to use the yacht and just took it. He basically stole it. Good news is that I finally convinced him to go to university. He will study economics in Lachaven Business School. That's a good choice. Having a degree in Swordland separates you from the rabble. And we especially need more people who understand economics. Maybe your son will be a great future economist. I wouldn't count on that. That's confidence inspiring. Nice of you to speak so highly of your son. But I agree that we need more economists to enter politics. Thankfully, we have a president who seems to be as well versed in economics as Alfonso. He turned to me. I'm very confident in your ability to fix our recession. Look at what he caused. Studying doesn't get you to the finish line. Alfonso was an inspiration for all reformists, which he wasn't. We are here in this mess because of him. His political failure nearly destroyed us. We're just going to say thank you, since I don't really agree with what he said about Alfonso. Don't want to piss him off, though. I will hope we can repair the damages to our economy. We can't fail like Alfonso did. Oh, well. Maybe I should have just called the guy a toad and been done with it. A correction. It wasn't his policies that destroyed him. It was the old guard. Uh-oh. The old guard. The dreaded old guard. What do you mean? I always had a gut feeling about his sudden fall. Of course it was. They are a big threat. I believe that too. Let's see what he means by that. He threatened their economic power base over the country through a vast privatization plan. They removed him and backed you after. Walter, stop with the conspiracy theories. I think we've had enough drinks. Everyone went quiet. After a long silence, followed by some chit-chat, Walter ordered a bottle of whiskey. That's one good-looking bottle. The waiters brought one of the finest Arcasian whiskeys. It was time for a toast. Toast. I stood up to give the toast. Okay, I raise to our health and happiness, to a constructive and beneficial future, to our wealth and success, to an equal society without class differences. Let's see. This one would probably go over better with the current company. Constructive and beneficial future shows I'm open to working with them as we go forward. They say hope dies last. To the future. Raised. I think it's time we all call it a night. Edith stood up. Most of us were all a little tipsy at this point. I want to thank you, Mr. President, for joining us, and you, Simon, for putting all of this together. Thank you, Edith, for joining with a bunch of ugly rich men. It's getting late. Let's call it a night. Thank you all for being here. It was great. Thank you. Thanks for being here. After bidding our farewells, we slowly walked out of the restaurant. The moon was shining bright as everyone except Walter left in their luxury cars. President, a moment alone, please. Great. He called me inside the small VIP lounge. Ignore him and leave. Follow him, or what do you want? I'll just follow along like a little lost puppy dog. Why not? Usually the Lothar-Berg spokesman doesn't directly comment on the administration, but I'd like to say a few things since this was a special evening. Sure, if you have to. I don't want to hear your comments, or I'm all ears. Why not? I'm half drunk anyway. Finally, a president that listens to the people. It won't be easy to pass the new Constitution through the Assembly and the Supreme Court. I already know this. We could help you get through it if in return you help us with a few economic requests. Here we go. Walter lit a cigar and took a few drags before continuing. The consensus is that we see eye to eye in the economic direction you have taken by promoting a market economy. I'm glad that the group is supportive. Yes, I did take his bribe the first time, and my secretary saw it. I also had some backroom dealings with Caranti, the media mogul. So I owe him something, although it wasn't specified as to what. He said he would help me out with situations of character assassination, I guess you could say. Let's see, I'm interested to collaborate further in our shared interest. Sounds like a good place to go with this guy. And we have the right attitude. He looked me in the eye. We had a deal about the first mega infrastructure project. Well, you paid me pretty good. By the way, I passed that money along to my poor-ass driver so his son could go to school. You held on to the promise and awarded the contract to Underhall Construction. This went well in our book. We are aware of the upcoming tax meeting, and it would be a step in the right direction if private corporations would get a tax cut. To boost the economy with job creation, of course, and the positive side effect would be our support to the administration throughout the entire term. I will give large private corporations... I could promise him a tax cut. I will make tax decisions objectively, can't promise you anything, or fuck off. I don't want to get too deep into this guy's pocket, but I have a feeling I'm going to need all of the help I can get getting my constitutional reforms passed. I'm going to be honest with him. I'll make tax decisions objectively. I can't promise you anything. Oh, let's not be hasty. The recession will end if Lofberg is on your side, Mr. President. Why can't we all just be friends? Well, we are friends. Maybe we can. I'll see what I can do. So I kind of left the door open to stiff him. The only thing the group wants is a private corporate tax cut, and we will fully support your administration. They're not going to let me get out of it. It's either yes or no. Damn. I didn't think the decision would be this hard here. Conflicted. My conscience is conflicted. In a way, I agree with him on the tax cuts helping the economy, but I don't want him to see this as like, I'll do whatever you want, Walter. Yeah, I see that. At some point, I'm going to have to cut the guy off, but right now I'm going to continue to play his game. Okay, here go the dogs again. I'm very satisfied to hear this. To us and the prosperous future of Swordland. Good Lord. Give me 1 second. Wife and kid just got home, and they are very happy to see them. So, as you can hear, they are making it known how happy they are. So is Walter Tusk. So, let's continue on with the story. I will try to ignore that as much as I can if you do the same. Glad to hear we can come to an agreement. See ya, Mr. President. Walter left and Serge came to pick me up. Get in the car. He took the seaside route. Alright. So now we have some stuff to do. Scrolling around the country. And we've got some news to read. What to do first? Let's read the newspapers first. Bill on the rights of workers being drafted. The Grand National Assembly of Swordland will vote on a bill on Thursday to protect workers' rights in Swordland that supporters are calling the most ambitious pro-labor legislation in decades. I wish they would get inside so those dogs would shut up. And which one USP representative is dismissed as the worst bill in the Assembly. Oh boy, we're going to have to defy our party again. The Workers' Protection Act has strong support from both the PFJP and the NFP, as well as labor leaders. The bill was a result of a bipartisan effort from the leading figures of the PFJP as well as the Ministry of Health, led by Pascal Benawal. It was proposed to the Assembly by Representative Elben Lachaven from the USP. Workers' Protection Act amends the Labor Act by establishing a minimum wage of 2.5 Sorgish Ren per hour and adding guidelines on overtime work as well as safety and protection guidelines. The bill also makes it illegal for corporations to force workers to do unpaid overtime work. It's not a bad thing. Some estimates suggest costs for these firms would increase by 50% if they have to treat workers according to the proposed law. Despite the bill coming from the governing USP, it faces a huge opposition inside the party. However, with the support of the PFJP and the NFP, the bill has a high chance of passing the Assembly. So it's got support and detractors inside my own party. I'm kind of trying to move things forward with Swordland, so maybe some in my party need to either shit or get. President meets with Business Council. Our sources have reported that yesterday President Rayne had a meeting with the Business Council behind closed doors in Lachaven, which later continued with a dinner in a 5-star Asteria restaurant with leading figures from the council. The agenda of the meeting was not disclosed, and the contents of the meeting remain a secret, but it can be expected that President Rayne has discussed the future economic plans for his administration, blah, blah, blah. The Lachaven Times. Disaster hit Morbel last night when one of the main supporter shafts in the Morbel coal mine collapsed. It seems like that mine's a death trap. So, consequently, the Workers' Bill of Rights that was being drafted in the Assembly for the past few months comes too late. Bummer. Arvry. Car bomb attack in Arvry. A car parked in the Agno-Sortish-dominated neighborhood in the outskirts of Arvry has exploded. Arvry police report that there were no casualties or injuries. The initial investigation found that the car was rigged with a timed bomb. Further investigations and details have not been shared with the public. Let's see what's going on down here. School poisoning connected to Bluedish woman. Oh, those Bloods. Vilma Asir, who was working at the school kitchen, was apprehended with connection to last week's school cafeteria poisoning in Rybel. The act was found to be politically motivated, as the perpetrators are connected to the banned Bluedish Freedom Party. Asir is suspected to have been an active member of Bluedish Freedom Front since the start of the year. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of our For the People playthrough on Suzerain. A little bit worried about what all these dealings I'm having with Walter Tusk are going to lead to. Hopefully we could benefit from them. A little bit of corruption for a good cause might not be the best justification of my actions, but we are moving forward nonetheless. As you can see, we've got the budget meeting upcoming, all very exciting stuff with a budget of 0. It should be interesting to see the proposals that are put before me. Anyway, if you like the episode, hit that like button. If you are new here and would like to follow along with President Rayne as he goes down a dark path, hit the subscribe button. Kind of curious what you guys think about this game, so leave your thoughts in the comments below. J76NY saying thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a very good night.